about a couple topics today. So my personal transformation from fat, sick, and disease to thriving and lean now on a carnivorous diet. But first, let's do another quick little testimonial. This one comes from a fellow that sent me a note this morning. I woke up with this, and again, I get these every day, so I'll share them. Dr. Sean Baker, I just wanted to say thank you for helping me change my lifestyle up and get off all the junk food. I'm in my 18-month carnivore, and my life's being great. Was 267 pounds when I started and had numerous health GI issues and skin issues as well. Gingivitis was also something I dealt with forever. And all these things I was able to get rid of within months just by cutting out all the sugar and carbs. I found a lifestyle that works for me, and I'm sitting at 172 pounds solid today. And I'm stronger than I've ever been and have energy all day. Didn't get into the gym until 10 months. Lost 95 pounds first, and it's been awesome. Also 18 months clean from a 12-year run with opiate addiction. Quit same day I started carnivore and helped with the depression I had and helped balance hormones out quicker. Life is amazing. Thanks again for all you do. And this is pics of his transformation. So again, is carnivore diet right for everybody? I'm not saying that, but it seems to help a lot of people. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater and saying meat is bad for us, because it is clearly not. A couple little points of scientific query I think that might be interesting to talk about. So there's a study out there. It's called Doneness Preferences, Meat and Meat-Derived Heterocyclic Amines Intake and N-acetyltransferase 2 Polymorphisms Association with Colorectal Adenoma in Japanese Brazilians. So kind of an interesting study. So what we hear, first of all, what we hear from people is red meat causes cancer based on epidemiology, and therefore we've got these mechanisms to sort of prove it, right? So they'll say it's heterocyclic amines, it's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, it's TMAO, it is new 5-GC, it is, heme, all these things. And so what is the hierarchy of how you would prove that? So one, you would have to show that the association holds up to give you a hypothesis, okay? And that's epidemiology. Then you would have to say, okay, maybe there's a mechanism. Then you'd have to test it in humans. So no testing in humans to prove it. Hasn't been done. The mechanistic data largely shown in cell culture rat studies, not really being seen in humans in a whole global system. And more importantly, the epidemiologic data is so incredibly weak. It is so low relative risk. It's so absolute risk that the recent data out there, as per grade classification, Gordon Guy et al., says there's no real data that shows that red meat causes cancer. Therefore, any mechanistic data that you could potentially say causes cancer is garbage, because it doesn't cause cancer. Red meat does not cause cancer. It is ridiculous to think it does. There's no solid evidence that shows it. But let's just look at this study. So this is a study looking at a bunch of older people eating red meat, and it did not matter how they cooked it. If it was well done, it was rare, charred, not charred. That a lot of HCAs, heterocyclic amines, did not have any impact whatsoever on their rates of colorectal adenoma, which is a precursor type of colorectal cancer. Okay, so all these sort of postulates, they just get thrown out of the window. When you have an association that is positive and it's weak, you have to say, well, maybe there's something there. Maybe it's confounded with other things. You got to sort it out. That's why you do tests. When you have no association whatsoever, you can almost take that to the bank that there's really no association. So when you see these studies that are negative correlation, no association studies, it's not perfect, but it is far, far stronger evidence than a positive correlation, which could be contributed to anything. This is the Kevin Bacon movies and drownings in the summer type of scenario, right? It's the, people eating ice cream drown more because it's summertime, right? So positive association, maybe there's something there. If it's really, really weak, like all the data on red meat and cancer, it's probably confounded with something else. There's no association like this study shows. There's probably no association. All right, guys, next topic du jour, before I get into my transformation, is a study on, and this is an infographic behind me here that Amber, one of our MeatRx coaches, put up on an infographic, and I thought it was interesting. And it shows that you can get your RDA of vitamin A by eating a pound of meat a day. You get grain-fed meat. If you eat grass-fed, you do a little less. You eat liver, you can eat a little less. So what that means is, and this is a thing in the study, they say we really don't know what the real RDA. We don't know. We don't have a good handle on what the RDA for vitamin A is anyway. And this is a little bit older study, but that's the truth of the matter when it comes to RDAs. The RDAs, they're expert opinion. We really don't know. And we see special populations, people eating different diets. Maybe the RDAs go up, maybe they go down. But in this particular study, if we look at the US RDA, you can get the US RDA for vitamin A with just eating meat, with just eating muscle meat, that awful muscle meat that everybody thinks is so bad for you. The muscle meat that I've exclusively eaten for 3 years and I'm breaking world records on, right? Winning world championships on. You don't have to eat liver to get vitamin A. Now, if you want to eat liver, it's great. If you want to get more vitamin A, that's great. There's no evidence to show that getting excess vitamin A is going to save you or do anything super. I mean, it really doesn't exist. There is a concern with pregnant women that get too much vitamin A, so that is an issue. So don't feel that you have to gorge on organ meats to get, or even eat some organ meats to get your required nutrients, because you don't. You just don't. Anyway, if you like them and they help you, great, good for you. Eat them. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm opposed to people putting out false evidence, misleading people, telling you must do this to be healthy when that does not appear to be the case. All right, my transformation. All right, behind me, here I am, before and after. Age 44, I'm blurry in that picture. And the reason I'm blurry is that's a screen capture from a video. It's actually from the first YouTube video I ever uploaded. This was on my 44th birthday back in 2011. I'm embarrassed to say, but I was just getting out of the military at that time. And it was on my 44th birthday. I went in the gym and I deadlifted 700 pounds, and I did a one-arm snatch with a barbell with 175 pounds. Threw it up there strong. It's weighing about 290 pounds. I kid around and say meat plus plants, and then my after picture is me, right now. This is basically 52. This picture is from a few months back, but this is what I look like pretty much right now. This is kind of my level of conditioning, plus or minus a few pounds, 3 or 4 pounds either way. And the difference is, yes, I was eating plants back then. No, I'm not eating plants now, but it's not necessarily, plants made me fat. It's, appetite regulation on a, meat plus various plants. When I say plants, I mean lots of plants. I mean, it could be wheat, it could be grain, it could be sugar, it could be seed oil. All of those things were in my diet back then. And yes, if I were to just eat spinach and meat, I would lose weight, and I did lose weight doing that. But here's the downside: never satisfied, constantly hunger, constantly irritated, and my guts were just not feeling good. 20% of Americans suffer from IBS. The number is going up. 50 million people have autoimmune diseases. Those numbers are going up. Is it due to spinach? I'm not going to say that, but we are seeing foods in the diet, and this is a misconception. People think I hate vegetables. I mean, I don't like them. I can live with that. I don't care if I probably never eat one again, most likely. But I don't think vegetables are necessarily evil or awful. But I do think that they have compounds in them, good or bad, and there's a net effect. For some people, that net effect is negative. And by excluding them from the diet and focusing on a better source of nutrition, and animal products clearly are better nutrition. There's no doubt about that when it comes to bioavailability and ease of digestibility and tolerance. I think that's pretty clear. I think the evidence supports that. Can you get nutrients from vegetables and fruits? Of course you can. Are they harder to get? Yes, they are. Can they lead to problems? For some people, the answer is yes. And so that's the difference there. And so, picture on the left, I'm eating more food, more calories. My appetite is dysregulated. I'm sick. I'm not doing well. I'm metabolically unhealthy. I've got a big gut, probably big visceral fat. Today, I mean, anybody outside of a vegan, would say I look better, I'm healthier. You look at the picture, hair back then in 44, I was already losing my hair. In fact, I started losing my hair in my 30s. And people say, oh, you lost your hair on your meat-based diet. I mean, that's not true. In fact, my hair right now is probably as thick as it's ever been in the last few decades. So it's kind of interesting. So anyway, what is going to keep you satiated? What is going to keep you consistent on a diet? That's going to vary for some people. for many people, myself included, eating nutrient-dense, high-quality, very good tasting food like steak and eggs, like seafood, is very, very easy for me to be satiated and satisfied. And I'm not eating a little bit of calories. I'm eating 4,000, 5,000 calories a day sometimes. And I'm still staying lean, and I'm still staying muscular, and I feel good, and I sleep good, and my inflammatory numbers are down, and my clinical inflammation is down. And so this is the difference here. This is something that we need to understand, that if you're hungry and if you don't like the food, you ain't going to be successful on your diet. So eating palatable food, being satisfied and satiated, leads to normal physiology, I believe, and I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. And I think a carnivorous diet is largely a human appropriate meal. I think humans are facultative carnivores. It means we're omnivorous, but we thrive on lots and lots of meat. And for some people, it's all meat, like myself. I mean, right now, I feel the best I ever feel when I just eat red meat and water. I know that's upsetting to people. How could broccoli not make you feel better, or some berries? I just don't. I mean, that's just the honest truth. And so when I just eat red meat like I'm doing now, I feel great. My body composition is good. I sleep great. My performance is great. And so that's what works for me, and it may work for you. Come find out. Christmas is coming up. Book would be a good gift for your relatives, friends, family, loved ones. Coaching session with our coaches at meetrx.com. Remember, coaching improves efficacy and success rates. We know that. There are numbers of studies that show that. Through trial and error, a lot of years, I've kind of figured out what works for me. You can save time and shortcuts by just doing something that's already done it. So anyway, you guys have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's keep pushing. Get 50,000 subs, guys. We're almost there. We got 48, almost 49,000. Hopefully by next week we'll be sitting at 50K, which will be a good sort of benchmark. That's it. Take care.